Hello everyone and welcome to Hawkeye Traders. My name is Randy Lindsay, host of today's live interactive session. If you have any questions or comments during today's presentation, over here on the right hand side of your GoToWebinar control panel is a questions pane. Please enter your question or comments there and I'll do my best to get to them in the order that they are received. I want to make sure you understand and know that Hawkeye Traders is not an investment advisory service, so we cannot provide you any type of investment advice. We're not registered trading advisors. But what we can do is we can give you education and training on how we use the market, how we use our tools in the market, and how we apply those on the live edge of the market so that you can hopefully develop a trading plan that is consistent and profitable over time. Make sure you understand and know that there is a large potential for reward in trading in futures, stocks, forex, cryptos, and options. There's also a large potential for risk. Make sure you understand and know the risks involved before you start trading, and you need to make sure you're willing to accept these risks if you're going to invest in these markets. Past performance is not indicative of future results, so make sure you use common sense and get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start investing your money in any of these instruments. Never trade in a live account until you have first proven that you can consistently and profitably trade in a simulated account. And only then will the hard task of trying to get your mindset in track and making sure that you're ready to go. Today's presentation of the Hawkeye tools is based on the MetaTrader 4 platform. Every Wednesday we go through a different platform and rotate out each Wednesday. Today is MetaTrader 4 day. So all the examples I'll show you will be based upon MetaTrader 4. Next week's presentation will be based on TradeStation. Last week was on NinjaTrader and the week before was TradingView. So again, any questions or comments related to MetaTrader 4, enter them in the questions pane now. Otherwise, if they're on a different platform, then you need to probably wait, come back or wait until after I'm done with today's presentation, and I'll answer your questions at the end of today's class, if it's only specific to another platform. If it's a general Hawkeye question that relates to any platform, then I'll be more than glad to do that, entertain those questions. Everyone can hear me okay, I assume. Good, thank you. All right, what I'm showing today, I'm showing the Tomahawk platform, the Tomahawk trading suite of tools. It is very, very similar to the regular Hawkeye tools, but in this case, the Tomahawk tools, which we're going to be renaming here pretty soon because we're doing some updates to the training program and to the software itself, but we're going to be doing some updates on that, and I probably won't be calling it Tomahawk anymore, but we'll be coming across with the same information. But you can see here that the Tomahawk scanner is a tool which goes and shows you the build of strength across multiple time frames. These time frames can be pre-configured. If you were to right click and go to the indicator, then if you edit the indicator, then you can see that each of the individual currencies are broken down by color, and you can define those colors. But there's also multiple time frames involved. So you can see that there are 5 different time frames that are shown on the chart, and each one of those time frames can be independently controlled. You can see the top level right here is the current time frame, which is the 1 minute. The second time frame is the 2 minute, 3 minute, 15 minute, and hourly. So you can see as it goes down the list, you can see how the build of the trend strength goes over time. So the nice thing about the scanner is that you can see with a very quick glance that the pound is extremely strong against all of the other currencies. The yen is extremely weak. The Canadian is extremely weak on the shorter term. So you can see that the dollar is starting to build with strength short term, but the dollar against the pound is still weak by comparison. So that's the nice thing about the scanner is it very, very quickly gives you a good indication of the overall trend strength of the market. And it's not just of the pound, but you can see very clearly. And as you see each of these lights go on and off, then that kind of tells you the relative strength of each of these cells compared to the other currencies. Similar to the Fat Man, you can see that underneath each one of these, I have a Hawkeye Tomahawk Fat Man that is loaded, that shows the relative strength or weakness of the currencies on the given chart. So you can see right now the pound is starting to show some signs of weakness against a stronger yen, but longer term, you can see the pound is strong, the pound is strong, the pound is strong, the pound is strong. So on the longer term time frames, 3 minute, 5, 15, hourly, we've got strong strength as shown by our scanner, but the shorter term will cycle and it will cycle quite a bit. Of course, that cycling is just noise to an hourly, but to a 1 minute chart, it's significant. So you get a nice little breakdown here. What I'm trying to show you is that the tool can be used not only within the scalping time frames, but also on the much longer time frame charts as well. The longer time frame charts show the overall trend and the direction where it's going. You can see surges, you can see buy points, and then you can see resulting trades. So it's nice to be able to pull that into longer time frames as opposed to the shorter time frames as well. Okay, so the Tomahawk scanner, the Tomahawk Fatman also is a multiple time frame, so you can see it can be loaded on a M3 chart, as can all the other tools. This is not an offline chart. This is a live chart, which is demonstrating and showing a non-standard time frame. Also, the trend and volume are all color coded based upon the color code of the pair. So a pound being an orange color, you can see orange volume indicates pound strength, magenta volume indicates yen strength. So you got a lot of yen volume and pound volume. And white is a very neutral or disclosed volume. So you can see that there's neutral volume across both. So there's basically equal buying and equal selling on both parts. But when you see a predominantly orange volume bar, that means there's volume is buying on pound. When you see the predominant magenta, it's volume buying on the yen. So that gives you a really good idea of the strength within coming in that. Anytime you see yen strength, you're going to see the trend go down because the pound is the dominant pair and so forth. So you can see that on the hourly, the 15-minute, the 5, and so forth. Very, very clear and easy to see. All the other tools are also color coded the exact same way. So if I were to pull in the euro yen, for example, and I'll just drop that in on this, then you can see the euro is green, the yen is magenta. So there, it just changed from an orange magenta to a green magenta. Okay. Or the CAD, Australia US dollar, there's two different colors right there. You got US dollar is blue and the Australian dollar is red. So it's very easy to identify and to see overall trend direction and strength. And just by looking at the overall chart, you can see that. What was I on? Pound yen? Absolutely. I'm just showing this as an example. Most of the MT4 platforms are built around the forex trading, so that's why I do that. But you can see I do have um, some cross pairs here that show the futures contracts, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow 30, but these are not futures contracts. These are CFD pairs. And so on the MT4 platform, I cannot get direct futures trades, but you can do that on NinjaTrader, TradeStation, and TradingView. So absolutely. Are there any questions with regards to what I've shown you so far on the Tomahawk suite of tools? Okay, I'll go back over to I like what I like to call the breakdown. This goes to, so we were looking at the dashboard. I'm just looking at an overall view. What you can do is I've got another breakdown here. Let me pull up a pound. Here we go. So this is the regular view where you're looking at all the currencies related to the pound. So here's the pound dollar, pound yen, pound euro pound, pound New Zealand, pound Aussie, and pound CAD. So you've got all the different relationships. So when you can see strength in the pound, then you should be able to see on all the pairs that are trading against the pound, you should see uptrends. You see uptrends on everything except the euro pound because the euro is the primary instrument in that trade. And you can see the corresponding colors of each one of these. Okay, so it's very clear and to identify and trade based upon colors. So that's what the whole Tomahawk system was based on, is color coding to simplify and to help you to look at and identify trades based upon strength and trend and to be able to capitalize on that. Looking at the standard Hawkeye system, the regular Hawkeye system is based upon a 3 time frame setup. You could apply the Tomahawk system exactly the same way. But what I've done here is shown you the difference, because anytime you see green, then you're going to know that you've got buying strength. And anytime you see red, you see selling. And then that's on the pound US dollar. So a green shows you've got buying strength on the pound, and a red shows you've got buying strength on the dollar. But it will always be green and red. Green always shows up volume, red shows down volume. Okay. Now the Fat Man itself shows you the different relative strengths of all the pairs. The pound you can see here on a 30-minute is relatively strong compared to all the other pairs. On an hourly, let me make sure that is correct. Yeah, on an hourly chart, the pound is showing a nice trend of strength, but it is not the strongest. The Canadian and the New Zealand have just very slightly stronger at the moment trends. But looking over, you can see relative to the US dollar, it's weak on both counts. See that? And what I've done down here is I've loaded a Tomahawk Fat Man in, because the Tomahawk is the only one that I can get offline, that I can use in non-standard time frames, I mean. So a 2-hour Tomahawk shows me this relative strength based upon the longer time frames. So that's great to be able to see that as well. So when you see that, you identify the trade. Looking at the multiple time frames on a 15, 30, and hourly setup, we are looking for and following the Hawkeye 3-step entry exit method. If you are a current client, then you have access to the method, the training in the membership area, and the download for the guide. But if you don't, the Hawkeye Roadkill Indicator is a tool that helps you to see and visualize that almost in a single chart. So what it does is it enables you to see when the alignment occurs that you are looking for. So in this case, you're looking for when the first time frame trend goes green. So you can see the trend was red right here, and then it comes right back up and becomes green. The green trend is identifying that the strength of the pound dollar has risen to the point to where it can be considered in an uptrend. That's why it changed the color to green. Up until that point, it was considered a downtrend because it was red. If it's white, it's neutral, shows there's not enough strength in it to determine whether it's long or short, and then it identifies it's a weak trend based upon the current color of the stop. So right now we are in a nice, strong green trend. We can tell that by two reasons. Number one, the stops are rising. Number two, the heat maps are bright green. If the heat map were dark green or dark red, then I would know that it would be weak. Also, there is no white trend dots on the trend, so it is a strong trend as well. So the trend and stops indicator is an awesome tool to help you to visualize and see when price has gotten to a point to where standard deviation, volume, and price action have confirmed a trend direction. Once you see that on the first time frame, you can see that the trend dot is green. You can see that the heat map is bright green and that the volume is green. Then that's the first condition. The second condition is met by the first roadkill. The first roadkill looks at the second time frame, which is the 30-minute chart. So if I were to edit that indicator, you can see I've got the slow period on the indicator set to I times 2, which is 2 times the current instrument's time frame or interval. So interval times 2 is 15 times 2, that's 30 minutes. So I'm looking at a 30-minute trend and volume. And then it signals me when the 30-minute aligns with the 15-minute. So this signal right here that you see, this little dot, tells me that the trend and volume on the 30-minute have aligned with the trend and volume on the 15. The heat map HT, that's the higher time frame heat map, is also set to an I times 2, or I could even put in an M30 if you wanted. I just put I times 2 because it's a short code that enables me to change the time on the chart without having to update my indicator. So if I change this to a 30-minute, then this now becomes a 60-minute roadkill. You see the M60 there. But if I changed it back to a 15, you can see it's an M30. So it's a great way for me to be able to change it on the fly without having to go in and edit my indicator. And then the second roadkill, I have it set to look at my third time frame chart. In this case, interval times 4. 4 times 15 is 60, or an H1. So I'm looking at an H1 time frame. And so the H1 time frame, all I care about this, I don't really care about the trend color, but I do care about the volume color. The volume color has to agree with the volume on the 15-minute chart. So this dot here tells me that the volume agreed with the volume on the 15-minute time frame. When I see the 30-minute and the 60-minute agreeing at the same time, then that gives me extra confidence that the current trend is strong and growing with strength, and I can enter that trade with a whole lot more confidence. It also tells me that at that point, I've satisfied my 3-step entry criteria for getting into that trade because I've confirmed that the longer time frame volume and trend have been building to the point to where this is now a trade that I can get in, which will give me hopefully profitable results. It's a higher probability, lower risk trade entry point. Now, it's not the lowest entry point. It's not probably what you would consider to be the prime entry point. A lot of people would say, well, you didn't get in at the low. Well, of course not. But I need to make sure that the price action has gotten to a point to where the trend has been confirmed valid. And that's what the system does. The green dot tells me that the trend is in line and intact. And indeed, you can see that with some oscillations, which price will do, the trend was intact and built to a point of profit. And you can see that the Hawkeye stop was built in such a way that it stayed far enough away from the price and was able to accelerate quickly enough so that it didn't get you out. It held you in. Okay? So that's why we use 2 roadkills. If I wanted to, I could take this one chart and just trade directly off of this chart and not have to worry about having the other 2 charts out. But I love the other 2 charts because it shows me where I am, the 6 ways the market moves. So after a nice long period of consolidation, you can see a nice volume reversal signal, a nice pullback into that range, a nice trade signal, and some nice profits. Are there any questions with regards to the setup and the use of the tool? At this point right here, let me expand this out. Okay, you can see that after the period of consolidation, at this point here, that was at 1 o'clock in the morning, my time. Okay, 9. That's 2. Looks like this was the open of the European market, the London Open. Right here. So I think that was it. Yeah. So this would have been the open. So if you took this trade, this would have been a pre-market trade. Trade for that entry. Once you see the signal aligned, it looks like you got another double dot entry signal there and another one right there. So had you not entered on either of these, you got one more chance to get in right here on the break of that price bar right here. That one was tested and then confirmed out. Here's another entry signal right here that confirmed that the trend has returned and that price and volume have aligned back in line to give you another potential entry point. So if you wanted to trade off of the 3 charts, yes, you would need to confirm on the other 2 charts. If you do not have the roadkill, then you need to confirm on the other 2 charts that the heat map volume and volume are aligned at the same time on this chart. And you would do that by using your alignment tool right here to see the time. And that was an 8:45. On this one, you need to pull the time in to see when the 8:45 bar was. So it was right in between here. So at this point, you can see volume was green already from 8 o'clock. So that is confirmed. And you can see the heat map already is bright green. So that confirms. And then on this chart, you're doing the same thing. You're going to be going over to 0800. You can see that volume is green at 0800. That's all you need to confirm on this. That volume is there. So all 3 charts confirm at that point. And also you need to look to make sure that your pound is good, right, on the fat man. So looking at 0800. 0800. There you go. See, the pound has gone into extreme weakness and is starting to cycle out. So perfect setup. You're looking for that potential weak trend to return and build right back up again into period of strength. Because it does. It cycles from strength to weakness to strength to weakness. You want to try to get it at the point where it's cycling from weakness and is getting ready to go to strength. Marcel, you want the dollar? Okay, let's look at the euro US dollar. Based on the fat man, the dollar is starting to show some strength. The euro is also trending up with strength. They look like they're trending pretty closely together. I would not expect to see much of a trend out of the euro US dollar, but I'll give you my analysis of that. Yep, see that? See how the choppy nature of the euro US dollar is? It's because they are trending in sync with each other, even on multiple time frames. The euro is slightly stronger, so you'll see either a shift between an uptrend or a downtrend, but right now you're going to see a lot of this choppy price action. That's exactly what you've seen most of the day. Yesterday morning, you can see that there was a really nice bullish signal that came in. We got a nice push up from that, a retest, and then continue down. But here's the resistance level that has been tested, and then now looks like we've formed another support. So you're range bound right now, and it's probably going to stay that way as long as you continue to see these pairs this closely matched on the Fat Man. No, not right here. MetaTrader 4 is limited only to standard time frames, so I won't be able to show you that. Jahan, which time frames do you like for day trading? Oh, for the ES? Yeah, I personally like the 3, 6, and 12 minute with the 60-minute confirmation time frame. Pull the standard up. There's the NASDAQ. So as of 6:45 this morning, we've been in a nice uptrend. You can see that. The S&P looks like the same thing. Very similar charts. Really nice volume build right here. Really nice retest. Okay, the Dow. Here's gold. How do I get non-standard time frames? I get the non-standard time frames with the Tomahawk software. The Tomahawk software allows me to pull in those same time frames, but it recalculates and displays those based upon that. So a 3-minute, these are all 3-minute charts, but they're displayed on a 1 minute. So we take a 1-minute chart and we calculate and then redisplay the data as a 3-minute time frame, just like we can here. So this chart right here, this is a 1 minute, okay, 1 minute, but this is a 1 minute, an 8-minute, and a 15-minute Fat Man. Actually, I think that's 3-minute. No, that's a 1 minute, yeah. Okay, same way that we calculate that. So that way we can calculate and redisplay those. So I guess if I were looking at this, I could look at the 3, 1, 3, and 6-minute in this case for the euro. If I were to pull these up and use those, Marcel. So 2, 6, and 12. I could probably set that up. Let me pull up the dashboard. I might be able to do that pretty quickly off of that. All right, so euro. Right there. Format that indicator. So you can see the time frame is set to an M3. M3. So you can see each one of the indicators are preset and set up to an M3. So this chart really is an M3. If I changed it to an M6 or a 12, then I'd go through and remultiply each one of those tools and have them so that they display on the time frame chart that I want it to be. But I load it on an M1 chart, but you set the time frame to be the time frame that you want. So if you want to set it up as a 2-6-12, you could do that. Well, tomahawk indicators are Hawkeye indicators. This is the Hawkeye trend. It's just the color has been matched so that it automatically changes based upon the color of the pair that you're trading. And again, tomahawk really is only a uh, forex based instrument. It's not useful for futures because it doesn't look at the color codes of those based upon the futures. It only looks at the forex pairs. But if you wanted to load a Hawkeye indicator on top of this, you could, a standard one. Yes, you could. Say, for example, the heat map. If I wanted to load the Hawkeye heat map, the regular heat map on here, then I would go over here and find my heat map. Drag and drop it onto that chart. And there's my regular colored heat map loaded on top of my tomahawk chart. Or any of the other Hawkeye indicators I could load in on top of that as well. Okay, so let's go back. This is just some examples. You can see if you purchase the system, you have access to a lot of different setups, different profiles that you can go to, um, for regular settings. Standard package, you're looking specifically at the um, the tool set up for the trend, the volume, the heat map, the um, levels, and so forth, all the tools that come with the standard package. So you can see there's no roadkill, there's no fat man loaded on these charts. The trend uh, profile is just a simple trend that enables you to look at the trend time frame. So I'm looking at a 30-minute chart of the pound dollar. I could load in the euro yen or something, a dollar yen is another pair. And there I'm looking specifically at the US dollar. Right now it's showing strength relative to the weak yen, so you can see I've got a nice little upsurge and potential push from that. You can see the initial trend established right here. So you can see the stop in that right now. You're looking at about a 3 pip or basically a break-even trade with a potential high of about 45 pips on the trade. Just looking at that from a generic trade setup. And the same from the downtrend. Look at the uptrend or the downtrend, it doesn't matter. You can see that trading relative to multiple time frame strength will get you into the trade and help you to stay safe regardless of the direction that you're trading. I'm only showing the pair on chart for the fat man. If you edit the indicator, you can change the display to show only the pair on chart or all the pairs, just as a single pick. Okay, very simple. All of the indicators have specific inputs to them. Some of them don't have any inputs. For example, the heat map, all you have to do is just turn the alerts on or off or calculate on every tick. So there's really no inputs necessary. The same with the volume. There's really no inputs that you need to be able to control on that, so you don't have to worry about it. Let me go back to my regular chart. This is the one I spend the most time on. It's the one that has the best setups on it. Pound yen. Okay. Yeah, pound yen, like the pound dollar, some really good entry signals on that. Some really good trends of strength and weakness. You can see that the yen is extremely weak relative to a nice surge and now a very strong pound. Pound strength, yen weakness. Looks like this is a really good combination. Over time, you would look for this to start to cycle out. So as this becomes extremely overbought, you would be looking for an exhaustion and a potential correction off of that trend. But right now you've got extremely good volume supporting this move, and some really good entry signals that supported entry off of that move as well. Pound Canadian. Looks like it's going to give you the same type of signal. Any of the pound pairs, they're strong relative to the others, so that's what you're going to be seeing. Because the pound had been beaten up so much that has to come back sometime. Okay, other questions then? So today I've demonstrated for you the Tomahawk system. I've shown you the Hawkeye Tomahawk scanner, the color codings tools in the Tomahawk system. I've shown you the Hawkeye Fat Man, the Tomahawk Fat Man, and the regular Fat Man. The Tomahawk Fat Man enables you to go in non-standard time frames, whereas the regular Fat Man does not. It's limited only to standard time frames. The regular Fat Man also has specific color codes to show you which currency is strong relative to the others. And it's an ideal tool to use if you're looking to try to filter out and look for the best possible trades. If you're using the Hawkeye trend and stops indicator is probably the majority of tools that we use. Next to volume, it's probably the second most important indicator on the list. The trend and stop shows you when the trend is entered, the direction of the trend given by colors, and the Hawkeye stop identifies the color of the trend if the trend goes out. So, for example, on this chart, you can see that the trend went from green into white and then back into green. But see, while it was in white, notice that the Hawkeye stop was still green. So it was still an uptrend. It just was an uptrend where the trend had gone into congestion. And that's what the white dots identify. But from this, you can see it's very easy to see where the volume failed price action was able to come right back in, and then volume again confirms the resumption of that trend. The dollar Swiss, let's see if I've got that on here. Here it is. It looks pretty correlated to the euro, and so you probably aren't going to see much from it either. Yep, pretty choppy. You are getting some indications of direction, but at this point, I'm not expecting anything outside of a choppy range. Yep, it's range bound. Looks like for the longer term, based upon the hourly chart, um, that price is wanting to go down. You've got a strong Swiss relative to the weaker dollar, and a lot of consolidation. So the push up with selling is a really good indication that this is a indication of a weak move. The 30-minute looks like it's given the same information. The 15-minute, it's not as easy to see, and the bar that you see isn't giving information that this is a high selling bar. But the longer time frame is giving a very good indication that that is good downward pressure. All right. Other questions then? All right. Are there any? Is there anyone in class today that's here for the very first time? Most of the people I see are existing customers. I can see a couple of people in here. Let's see, about 10 or so people. I can see I don't recognize your name. I'm glad that you're here. Rebecca, welcome. Yeah. I recognize your name though. I've spoken with you before, but thank you for being here. If you are interested, then I have an offer to make you. If you'd like to get started with Hawkeye. Let me pull that up here. There. All right, I'm going to post it here. If you go to this page, HawkeyeTraders.com/WED, put it right here. HawkeyeTraders.com/WED. And they'll take you to a page that, because you are part of this webinar today, then I've set up a special pricing for that, for the volume starter package to get you started trading with volume on the live edge of the market. So what this volume starter package includes, and it's the exact same package that you'll see in our store if you go to our store and under the purchase options. Then you see purchase the options for the Hawkeye starter package. You'll see we normally sell that every day for $4.97. I'm giving you an opportunity to get started with that today. The exact same package, the volume paint bar, the volume radar, the pivots, and the wide bar. All the indicators that you see on the chart here for only $97. So $400 off to get started today. It's a lifetime license. It's not a monthly fee or anything. You get a full 1 year of access to the software um, support and to download any of the updates that we do within a year's period. At the end of the year, if you wish to continue with the software and the support and the training, then it's just $36 a year after that. You still have full access to the software. You can use the software as much as you want. There's no cost. If you don't pay the uh, support fee, then you still have access to your software in the current version that you've got. You just won't have access to any of the updates. So for MetaTrader 4, NinjaTrader, or TradeStation, you can click on these buttons and get started right now. This is the first time I've made this offer this year. I haven't made this offer in a long time, but I wanted to come back around and see if anyone who's here for the first time and ready to get started with Hawkeye, then I want to give you that opportunity to do that right now. HawkeyeTraders.com/WED Wednesday webinar special. You can get your lifetime license started today. Okay. Once you become a member, well, once you become a member, then you get to click on the little members tab up here. You click on that members tab. Hopefully I'm still logged in. It takes you to the special membership page that gives you direct access to your software. So once you log in, then over here on the menu side, you can see that you have a home page. You can find out the details of your account or any of the platform details that you need, whether you bought NinjaTrader, MetaTrader 4, TradingView, or whatnot. So this gives you the information for that. Your software will be found here. So under here, you'll find out where your products are. So if you bought the starter package, the volume module, then you just simply click on that and it will show up right here as starter package or the volume module. You can see I have a bunch of other software tools listed here, but you won't see these if you didn't purchase them. But if you did purchase them, then you will see these here as well. You simply click on that and that takes you to a page that enables you to download your software right away. So within probably 15 to 20 minutes after you purchase, then everything should be queued up and ready to go. You'll have information that will give you the ability to download your software, a guide that helps you to install it, and the user manual is the indicator guide that helps you to go through and learn about each one of the tools. Not only that, but you do get access to other information as well. So if you have other platforms that you've purchased, then you get the specific information for that platform. Okay, so if you're MetaTrader 4, then here's your MetaTrader 4 information that you would do here as well. Okay. As far as training, just below your software, oh, one thing I didn't say, product videos, annual support if you're interested, and then upgrade. Once you become a member, if you take advantage of the $97 starter package today, you are a member. And then that gives you membership upgrade discounts. So you can upgrade to other software within the suite at a member's discount. You get access to that right there. Okay. So you can access to any of the add-on tools directly. Okay. All the training videos are located under here. You can see the Hawkeye method identifies all the tools that you need to follow our 3-step entry-exit method. Here are the Hawkeye trading rules, the 6 ways the market moves. Here's your volume secret guide, a really good overview of the Fatman PowerPoint, and some tools, the multiple time frame tool or the screen magnifier. Those are all available right there in the resources. But other than the method and the training videos, you get access to all the archive of training and videos. Okay, so you get here's a quick page link to take you to the starter package videos or to the Thursday training room, our monthly surgery class, special mentorship training, or the Wednesday demonstration rooms. That's today's class. So if you want to go to that, then you can see these are all of the videos that were pre-recorded from the previous Wednesday's classes. You get full access to all of those. Okay. You can also go by topic. So if you're specifically interested in the 6 ways the market moves, or if you want to find more about trade exits or entries and setups, then just click on those and you can see the video sessions that are set aside that specifically talk about trade exits or identifying and trading congestion and so forth. So there are some topical links that you can go through as well. All right. And if that's still not enough, you still get access to uh, the training archive. So those are the archives from 2015 and earlier, all the videos that we have done with the training based on that. So you get full access to the whole suite of indicators based on that with a simple $97 purchase today. And don't forget, the training room also includes access to the focus mentorship training. So training room registration, don't forget to click on that link once you become a member, because that gives you access to the monthly training room every single Thursday. That starts at 9:30. Just click on this button right here to register. Since you're already logged into the system, it knows who you are. So click here to register button, and it will automatically sign you up for the Thursday training class. And you're already here today, so you don't have to worry about registering for today's class. But that's what this one is in our day class. All right. Very good. If you buy the roadkill, does it come with the required trend and volume? No, it does not. You already have to own the roadkill, the trend and the stop and volume package if you want to purchase the roadkill. The roadkill uses the software as a basis to run, and then it has its own calculations on top of that. But it won't work by itself. You need the trend and volume tools in order to get it going. Good. And once you do become a member, you also can get access to our live members chat group. So Hawkeye members are chatting up and sharing their trades, and you get access to that as well. That about does it for me today, unless there are any other last minute questions. I'm going to go ahead and the total next week, that'd be perfect. Let me know if you have any questions about that, but sounds like a great deal. Looks like the total package includes the roadkill and the Fat Man as well. And of course, it has all the bonus tools in there as well. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording at this point.